Welcome to Music Machine Mondays. In this episode, we're looking at the Steinway Duo-Art Reproducing Grand Piano. Just, this looks like a piano.
Yeah.
But it is.
Yeah, but there's a secret in it. So
Okay.
It's a self-playing piano, of course, because otherwise it can't be in this museum.
No.
Because you can only have self-playing instrument. But this is not just a regular self-playing piano. This is like the most top of the bill type of self-playing piano, and it's called a reproducing piano.
Okay.
And that means that the music that you play on pianos like this is recorded. So a piano player would be invited in the factory, and he would play his piece on a special recording piano, and it would be recorded on a paper scroll like this. And if you put the scroll in the piano again, it plays it exactly the same way as he recorded it.
Is it recorded in real time?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, they would put little pencil points on the paper and then later punch them out. But it was recorded in real time. The best part about it is that you let the scroll roll on a certain tempo. So if you do tempo changes in your playing, it's immediately recorded, very accurate. They also had a way to record the dynamics, so how fast somebody was playing.
Okay. And so when the pianist would put down a key, a little pencil would make a little mark.
Yeah.
Wow, so there's like 88 pencils.
Yes, there's 88 pencils.
Wow.
And a few pencils for the pedals and a few pencils for the dynamics also.
And who is playing for us now?
Sergei Prokofiev,
Okay, cool.
the famous Russian composer. Now, when you look closely at the scroll, it says tempo 75. Well, that's how fast we've got to put the scroll. The faster you play the scroll, the more detailed the music will be. But the sooner it will be done, because the scroll can only be that long. So if you wanted longer music, you would have it play slower, but you could have less musical detail. Now, underneath it says, "This scroll is a correct reproduction of my performance, signed by Sergei Prokofiev."
Wow.
The reason he put this on is because in those days they would tamper with the scrolls a bit. Because before they used the reproducing system, they would use a system where they would punch out the holes by hand and make an arrangement beforehand, like they
Okay.
do with organ books, for instance. And when they started recording scrolls, what they would do was, for instance, add a bass part later. So he would have played with two hands here, and then they would add a bass part afterwards.
So it was
by just
cheating.
punching it in. It was absolutely cheating. So he signed it probably to say, "There's no cheating here. This is really how I did it," and I made arrangements with the recording company that we're going to do it this way, and that they're not going to tamper with the scroll.
So this is actually really an early version of MIDI, because I often record in MIDI and then I fix it.
Yeah.
I fix my performance.
Well,
but
yeah.
Prokofiev didn't want anything of that.
No, but you can only add stuff. So you can't fix time. Well, you can in a way fix the timing. You can also fix some wrong notes, maybe, because you would do it with the pencil stuff beforehand, and if you would see it before you would punch it out, you could actually correct it. So yeah, this
Okay,
is
so
a really
maybe if he like put a note that he didn't want there, maybe he could say, let's erase that little pencil mark, and we have a better recording.
Yeah, you could do that.
Fantastic. The Steinway Duo-Art Reproducing Grand Piano was built in 1924 by the Aeolian Company in New York. The Duo-Art Reproducing Piano was first introduced by Aeolian in 1913. Duo-Art refers to the combining of artistic composition and musical interpretation. The reproducing piano mechanically records a pianist's live performance, and sales of the piano were hugely successful, largely due to the fact that Duo-Art contracted famous pianists to play and record exclusively for the Duo-Art. Many thousands of rolls went into production, with live play of famous artists like George Gershwin and Sergei Prokofiev, to mention a few.
It works on electricity, so what I'm going to do in a minute, I'm going to go right here, I'm going to put the motor on, and I'm going to press play.
Okay.
Now what you're going to see then is that over here things are going to start moving. So this is the motor part, this is the governor.
Yep.
Governor? Governor, yeah.
To keep the
To
timing?
keep the timing. And you can put it normal and soft here. Like for instance when you were in a restaurant you would put it soft. Now what would happen sometimes is that the power would go out in places like this.
Yep.
What you could then do is also pedal it with your feet.
Oh wow.
But it's pretty heavy. It's a lot heavier than the other piano that we've got that you got to pedal with your feet. And also here you can't influence the dynamic. So it's not like with a regular player piano that you can pedal faster and then the music will be faster. Here it's always the tempo and the dynamics that are indicated on the scroll.
In the next episode, we're taking a look at another mechanical masterpiece. Thanks to our friends at Spillclock Museum, and thanks to you for watching.